I have exciting news for you. From the week of December 5th until the 15th, you will have the opportunity to win an all access lifetime membership pass to the personal development school to give yourself the gift of healthy relationships this holiday season. We will be selecting five lucky winners to receive special prizes. And all you need to do is to be subscribed to our YouTube channel, like this video, and then click the link in the description and register your email in order to be entered to win. There are also bonus points for those who comment below on how a lifetime membership to our school could really benefit them or impact their lives. So make sure you check your email on December 16th to see if you win. Again, we'll have five winners that get all sorts of different access and prizes to PDS. And if you don't hear back from us, please don't worry. Everyone who enters will also still receive a small gift from myself and the Personal Development School as a thank you for being a valuable member of the PDS community. And all of the details are listed in the description of this video below. Best of luck. So, your attachment style is one of the factors that affects your relationships more than anything else. It affects the way we think of our needs, how we expect our needs to be met, what we expect in general from relationships, how we expect people to behave, communicate. It's also really impactful in terms of what fears we carry into relationships, what individual core wounds or assumptions we make about circumstances or conflicts. And one of the most important things to pay attention to early on is what is somebody's attachment style. If you are dating them, it's obviously extremely valuable. But even in our friendships or family relationships, it helps us gain this context of understanding into what somebody's pain points might be, what somebody's challenges might be, what their insecurities or worries might be. And therefore can help us relate to people so much more effectively and with a lot more depth. So in this video, I'm going to cover 8 signs that your partner might be anxious preoccupied. Keep in mind, I will tend to reference things from the romantic relationship context, but it really applies to your friendships and your family relationships as well. Um, and when you hear these different signs, since I'll be referencing them from the romantic point of view, think of if you see this person, let's say it's like your family that you're here, you're like, is my mom an anxious, preoccupied person? Try to think of it from the perspective of, oh, does my mom do this? Does she do this with her friends? Does she do this with, her romantic partner? Like really just sort of being clear about each of these 8 points. The very first point that has a huge impact is you will see that anxious, preoccupied individuals bond quickly. They attach quickly. They develop feelings quickly. They move quickly. They warm up quickly. They warm up quickly after an argument. They warm up almost immediately after an argument or a conflict, specifically because they're trying really hard to not lose proximity to a person. So they might be cold for a moment in the heat of a moment and almost instantaneously turn back around and be like, are we good? Is everything okay? I want this to work. I want us to be okay. So you'll see a lot of this warmth, quick to warm up, very available, moving quick type of personality. Number 2, anxious, preoccupied individuals, they tend to want to text all throughout the day, every day. They tend to be very available through text. Now, of course, you see this most with romantic partners. You may see that your friends who are AP are a little more available over text, your family members as well. But really, when you're looking at it, it's if you're looking from like through the lens of a family member, try to think of, with their friends, when they first meet people, do they tend to warm up very, very quickly? And do they tend to text and communicate often and also expect frequency of communication from the relationships around them, be it family relationships, be it friendships is a huge one, and romantic partnerships. Number 3, as a result, anxious preoccupieds as well, they tend to be really sensitive to why you aren't texting. And it's because the subconscious mind gives meaning based on its past experiences. It basically is like this filing cabinet warehouse of information. And if somebody, creates space and hasn't texted back or communicated enough, you can think of the subconscious mind as like opening up its filing cabinet and going, okay, what are associations? What are programs in here about what it means when somebody creates space? And because there tends to be a lot of programming around a fear of abandonment growing up, That's the meaning their mind goes to. Oh my gosh, there's space. I'm going to be abandoned. We're disconnecting. The relationship could be ending or it's in jeopardy in some way. And so they tend to jump to these fearful conclusions, which obviously breeds a lot of sensitivity in terms of your text messaging patterns or habits. And under the same umbrella, this can also be the calling habits, like just the frequency of communication and the frequency of how often you're seeing each other, even. There's a lot of sensitivity towards these patterns. Whereas you might see, for example, people of different attachment styles. Let's just use the example of friendships. You might see like a fearful avoidant not see somebody in person for months. And then when they do, pick right back up from where they left off and not even think twice about it. Whereas APs, like that would have to be a discussion, right? We didn't see each other for months. What happened? What's going on here? Is our friendship still intact? So you see a lot of this like meaning in that situation. Number four, we will often see anxious, preoccupied individuals talk a lot about the future or ask questions about the future, really as a subconscious strategy for validation, especially in romantic partnerships. So we may see them talk about going on vacation next year, but you've only been dating for a couple weeks, or these things you're going to do together in the future, or if you ever buy a home together, or what do you want for your future in relationships? What do you want in terms of romantic partnerships? Like really diving into that, and this can even be if this personality type isn't so much of a planner. It's almost like in this area they will be a planner. And of course, we can have APs who are super planners as well, but it's not really so much about that like personality type of planning. It's more about we tend to plan in the areas that we're really subconsciously focused. And so you'll see that come out irrespective of other components of this person's personality in this area specifically. Number five, you will generally see anxious, preoccupied individuals struggle with their boundaries. And you may not know this until there's been a discussion or two, but you may see even in the way that they interact with other people, maybe they're resentful, maybe they don't speak up enough for themselves, maybe they don't feel comfortable being assertive, maybe they're afraid of, seeming like a burden. These sorts of dynamics tend to really drive the anxious, preoccupied individual's programming and decisions accordingly. By the way, if you want to do a deep dive into understanding how the anxious, preoccupied individual shows up in each of the six stages of a relationship as a whole, I have a whole course about that called our Advanced Anxious Preoccupied course. And it literally goes into the roadmap of how an AP will be in the dating stage, in the honeymoon stage, in the power struggle stage of relationships, in the stability stage of relationships, the commitment stage, the bliss stage. Like it literally maps out everything. And you can check it out for free for 7 days using the link below. So number six, we will see that anxious, preoccupied individuals tend to be quite agreeable. I can remember having a conversation with somebody who was on a first date with an anxious, preoccupied male. And she said to me, "Oh, everything I said, like everything was great going into the date, like on paper, like, everything I was looking for. And then we got there and like, he was really kind, really charming, really charismatic. And then as the night unfolded, like everything that I would say I liked or I was excited about, he would say, me too. Oh my gosh, me too." And she said, by the end of the date, I felt like, who is this person? Like he was just copying everything I was doing. And it's not that APs will be doing that necessarily, but they just tend to be very agreeable as a whole. They tend to really sort of get into that agreeable mode. And again, it's because they're looking for that acceptance or approval the vast majority of the time. Number seven, you'll often see anxious, preoccupied individuals really express their feelings a lot. That can be in a variety of different ways. It can be expressing their romantic feelings, expressing their gratitude and appreciation for you, their friend, if it's just a friendship, or as a family member. There's a lot of like expressiveness of these individuals as a general rule. And even if they're a little shy, it can be like over a text message or in an email. It may not always be in person, but there tends to be a lot of expression of their feelings towards you, their appreciation for you, but also their feelings in general, like what they are emotionally experiencing. So you'll see a lot of those different dynamics. And number eight as a bonus is that you will tend to see an anxious, preoccupied have major love languages around Physical touch. They tend to be quite physically affectionate once you've gotten close to them. They tend to be big words of affirmation individuals because they really like that like validation. It gives them a sense of certainty that everything is okay and the relationship will be okay. And they obviously tend to be big quality time people as well and really enjoy that like person to person interaction. So these are 8 major signs. If you want to do a much deeper dive into any of our attachment style courses, for how all the attachment styles are in each of the 6 stages, the link is down below. It will give you access to everything. And you can come in and you can join me on webinars as well. It's the link to our all access pass. So you can join in, ask me questions on webinars, anything of that nature. And also feel free to post your questions below. And thank you so much for watching and for being here. And please like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you are enjoying our content. Thank you so much.